Hello everyone, this is Abdullah Alotaibi. I am a doctoral student in the Teaching and Learning program at the University of North Dakota. My topic will be about issues of gender in online learning communities. Because I faced technical issues, I'm going to use Camtasia 3 to record my presentation. Let's start with the introduction. Actually, the introduction is about the problem statement. We have just a summary of my work. In introduction, I said building successful online learning communities for all male and female students can be considered as a real challenge for an instructor in higher education for two major reasons. First, faculty members do not have enough time to plan and prepare for their online courses. Second, some instructors do not know how to teach online courses. And faculty members need to determine the characteristics or the demographic information of their target learners, such as gender, age, culture, backgrounds, prior experiences, learning style, and interest. These information are important to guide the selection of instructional strategies, the content, and technologies. The purpose of this literature review is to get a better understanding of the meaning of online learning communities, online social presence, the technologies, and the current gender issues in online learning communities. Of course, we will focus in this literature review about our own social presence and the current empirical studies about gender differences in distance education. Online learning communities. The researchers have attempted to clarify the meaning of online learning communities due to its importance in distance education. One of these definitions is a definition provided by Missenchuk and Anderson in 12.1. They defined an online learning community as a bounded group of students involved in cooperative learning online. Rofi indicates that the trend now in higher education is toward using online courses than face-to-face courses. That is because online learning is a good alternative option for people who do not have time due to their family responsibilities or career tasks. Researchers have attempted to identify the main component of online learning communities. Their assumptions about the number of the main component of online learning communities are varied. Some researchers like Garrison and his colleagues believe that an online learning community involves three elements, while others like Rovi, like Simonson, assume that four essential components are necessary to build a community in distance learning. So, let's talk about the most important for me, Garrison and his colleagues. He said, which I agree with him. He said that online learning communities involve or falls into three components, which are teaching presence, which is the interaction between instructors and learner. Cognitive presence, then interaction between the content and the learner, and social presence, which means the interaction between the learners. And the learning environment is the computer-mediated communication. The definition of social presence, this is definition Short, William, and Chris Tai are the founder of social presence, and they define social presence as the degree of silence of the other person in mediated communication and the consequent silence of their interpersonal interactions. Social presence basically can be defined as the degree in which we perceive other people as real people. Social presence is very important. It helps learners to project themselves online and feel a sense of community, and it's a direct contributor to the success of educational experience, and it's solve a lot of problems like feeling of isolation, frustration can be reduced by enhancing social presence. For the technologies, the importance of technology or CMC in distance education is that it has become the learning environment in online learning based on Garrison, Anderson, and Archer. And technology solves the issues of financial pressure and time consuming to do several tasks due to our modern life. Technologies, according to Simonson and his colleagues, there are two approaches or two modes, which are synchronous, which is the interaction at the same time, and asynchronous, which is the interaction at different times. The ideal technology are those that combine both synchronous and asynchronous learning interaction, which will increase the level of social presence among students. The availability of technologies in educational institution does not mean that instructors are able to use them effectively. And also the graduate student must have or acquire sufficient computer literacy and develop an ability to apply computers in education. The last section in my literature review will be about empirical studies about differences based on gender. This is just an example. Men and women students may differ from each other in various of ways in distance education. Cameri, 2003. She reviewed research in the USA from the 1970s to 1990s. She found that women and men use somewhat different patterns regarding building connection with other people. Examples of my empirical studies. Here is a study, Tuyan Plocher 2011, aimed to find the relationship between gender and online social presence. They found no relationship between gender and online social presence. However, the results show that females are more social oriented while males are more task oriented. Empirical study about gender and social presence. Another study, Sorden and Million, examined the relationship between social presence, collaborative learning, and student satisfaction in blended learning environment. They have a question that focus on the demographic information like age, gender, ethnicity. And the result, they found no relationship between gender and computer expertise and number of previous online courses. Another study, Len and his colleague conduct a study to explore if gender has an impact on students' preferences toward asynchronous and synchronous modes. Gender has no impact on students' preferences for online portion modes, synchronous and asynchronous. Ya and Ching, 2012, conduct a survey design study in Hong Kong to explore if men students are more confident in using technology in their learning than their women peers. The results show that men students were more confident in using technology than women students. The future research, if determining gender similarities and differences is important in Western and Asian countries, then it might be more important in Arab Gulf countries in which men and women are separated in most of the life aspects. Men and women students in Arab Gulf countries study in a gender segregated environment due to their religious belief. Finally, the references. Actually, the total will be like 22 references. I have 11 theoretical articles and 11 empirical studies. Thank you so much for watching.